Hello dear students, welcome back to the lecture series of Object Oriented Programming. In this lecture, we are going to see what is design pattern, why do we require design pattern, the uses of design pattern as extensibility and code stability, as well as different elements of design pattern. At the end of this lecture, you will be able to introduce design patterns and idioms. You will be able to explain the usability of design patterns and different elements of design pattern. A design pattern is a way to design our software. Designing the object-oriented software is hard, and designing a good, reusable object-oriented software is even harder. We need to find out the objects, factor them into the classes at the right granularity. We need to define the class interfaces and establish the relationship among them to make a good software. Our design, that's the reason our design should be flexible enough that can handle the future problems and modifications. This means that it is impossible to find the exactly right design for any software, but we can make the design of our software in such a way that software can cover the design can cover the maximum solutions for future issues. Let us understand what is a design pattern. Christopher Alexander defined a pattern as a solution to a problem in the context. It is a general repeatable solution to a commonly occurring problem in a software design. Each pattern describes a problem which occurs over and over again in the environment and then describes the core of the solution to that problem in such a way that you can use this solution a million times over without ever using it without without ever doing it the same way twice. A design pattern is not a final solution. A design pattern is not a finished design that can be transferred directly into the code. But a design pattern is a description. A design pattern is a template for how to solve a problem that can be used in many different situations. Design patterns are the solutions that can be expressed in terms of objects and interfaces. A small scale design pattern is considered as idioms. Let us see why do we require a design pattern. There are number of software quality requirements, and to include those software qualities in our software we should follow the design patterns. The software quality requirements are interoperability, performance, accuracy and maintainability. The ability to customize the software system to work with different external systems such as data sources, user interfaces, and hardware drivers is termed as interoperability. Performance. The algorithm in the system must be fast, it should give the good response time, and they must consume as much few resources as possible. Accuracy. The software system must produce accurate results. In the object oriented software systems such as medical applications and security applications, the accurate result is very important, and in those software systems the accurate result is included and it is important. Maintainability. It must be easy to correct the bugs, and it may be easy for you to add the new functionality to the system, but when adding a new functionality in the system, you must take care that the existing functionality should not get disturbed. So the functionality, the software should be maintained while adding the new functionalities. Design pattern help us to reuse the existing high quality solutions to a commonly occurring problems. Design patterns speed up the development process by providing tested, proven development paradigms. Design patterns help us to avoid the issues that can cause major problems, as the design patterns are already tested, already proved, and so that design patterns are helpful for us to find out the solution for our complex problem. Design patterns improve the documentation and maintenance of the existing system. The design pattern improve the team communication and individual learning. Design patterns are designed developed and tested, implemented by the experienced people. So when you communicate with such experienced people, those who are developing such design patterns, you will get you will improve in your knowledge, and you will be able to understand how the design patterns are designed to find out the different solution of a different complex problem in the different environment. Design pattern improve code reliability of code readability for the coders. In the object oriented software development, design pattern identifies the participating classes, instances, their roles, their collaborations, and the distribution of responsibilities. Let us see how design pattern provides the extensibility and code stability. Design pattern helps to find the exact way in which the classes relate to each other and how the key details are handled. The goal of many of the design pattern is to achieve the extensibility, to achieve the easy extensibility, but sometimes it happens that for the some special case solutions to a design problem, the less code is required, and that less code is developed, and that less code, the small code, the short code may be faster, but it is difficult to understand that it is difficult to understand and generalize that short code when the new features and capabilities get added to that code. So we need to extend a program in a very common way rather than using the complex solution for that problem. uh, if you want to find out the solution to that problem which is too complex, a special case solution, we have two options with us. Either we need to follow the design pattern, or we need to face the difficulties which will occur in the future. So it will be better to follow the design pattern and extend our code, and uh, whatever we can have the extension of our code smoothly in the future. The goal of design pattern is not short code, but it is easy to extend code. When you use the design patterns, the already existing some of the code you can use, and you can extend the same code in the for the future use. So code stability will be maintained. Let us see the essential elements of the design pattern. There are four essential elements of the design pattern, like pattern name, the problem, the solution, and the consequences. Pattern name is used to describe a design problem, its solution, and the consequences in a word or two. As we can say that there are number of softwares we are developing, and when we develop those number of softwares, every time the problem is different and the solution to that problem is different, and so the design pattern to which will be applied on that problem to find out the solution will be different. So we should have a name to that pattern, so that that pattern can be used to the required or expected, can be applied to the problem which is related to that design pattern. Then the next element is problem. It describes when to apply the pattern. It describes the purpose and the problem it solves. Then the third element is solution. It describes the elements that make up the design, and the fourth one is consequences. When we apply the design pattern on some problem to find out the solution, what are the results, what are the consequences after applying that pattern on that particular system to find out the solution should be noted, so that in the future use, whenever we will require that, we can use. So I hope you have understood what is design pattern, what are the elements of design pattern, and why do we require design pattern. In the next lecture we will see the different design patterns and the catalog of design pattern. Thank you. Happy learning.